Shalom Aleichem, friends and listeners. We hope that you are all well. Gashmis v'ruchnis. At the beginning of this week's Parsha, Parshas Mishpotim, we learn about the mitzvah of an Eved Ivri, a Hebrew slave. A Hebrew slave is somebody who either stole and didn't have the means to pay back what he stole, or somebody who was very destitute and therefore sold himself to servitude. This servant must work for 7 years. During that time, his master may provide for him a Canaanite wife if he was married already, and he may have children with her. And after the 6 years are over, he must go free. In the event that this Hebrew servant tells his master he loves his master, he loves his wife and children, and therefore he wants to stay on working, then he must undergo a special procedure. What is this unique procedure? The owner brings him first to the judges to consult with them, and then he positions the servant next to the door, which is by a doorpost, and he pierces his right ear. What's the reason for this interesting procedure? Rashi cites 2 explanations. One of them, named Rabbi Avrohom Yehuda Kievman, is that the ear is punished, the main ear, which is the right ear, because it ignored one of 2 violations that it heard at Har Sinai. One violation is the violation of stealing, alternatively, the implied violation of selling oneself. Because Hashem announced that Bnei Yisrael are to be slaves to Hashem, exclusively to Hashem. If somebody decides to acquire himself a master, that's not in line with the Torah values. As a matter of fact, there are special rules about a Jewish employee under certain circumstances may quit on a job because he is not a slave. There are rules about the Jewish person as far as contracts of certain types of employment, again based on the idea of not being a slave to another person. The second pshat is why is the door chosen to be the place of this procedure? So the explanation is because the door and lintels served as witnesses in Mitzrayim when Hashem skipped over the Jewish homes and spared them from the plague of the firstborn sons, and declared that Bnei Yisrael were indebted and therefore meshubed. They are supposed to be totally devoted and dedicated to Hashem alone. Rebbe explains further that this slave, Hebrew servant, was supposed to have total trust in Hashem. Hashem is the director, the creator of the world. Hashem is the one who provides parnasa for everybody and gives the person the ability to earn a living in a kosher manner. When all options fail, there is always the option of taking out a loan. The Torah gives a special mitzvah, this week's parsha, to lend somebody money. Kesef talves ami. If somebody is destitute, those who have the means are given the mitzvah obligation to lend him money. So he could have done that. Obviously, borrowing has to be done with the intention of paying back. And obviously, even one who works has to be dedicated, and like Yaakov Avinu, who the Rambam cites as Yaakov Tzaddik, was totally dedicated to his employer. And if your job requires using your head, you have to use your head for it. However, one should not feel enslaved, and one's commitment to one's employment should not override Hashem's instructions to us, which include not to steal or not to sell oneself out. When a person failed and actually sold themselves to servitude or were sold by the courts, they should have being ashamed of what they did and being yearning to get freed. If they are not yearning to get freed, they're not ashamed of what they did, then they have to go through this procedure of getting their ear pierced. The Rebbe points out further that some people are so enslaved to their material ideals that even on Shabbos, which is supposed to be a day of rest, they can't stop thinking about their material matters. And instead of refocusing on a spiritual service of Hashem, which is the main purpose of a Jewish person's existence, to serve Hashem through the study of Torah and performance of mitzvahs, a person who is enslaved to his material matters finds it difficult to do so. When a person busies himself with Torah study and the service of Hashem on Shabbos, it involves davening, having a meal with family and friends, making another Yid happy, then a person is becoming free. A person should strive to be free, to be freed from his personal goals, and this way will help bring closer the global Geula. He will speedily merit the coming of Mashiach, and the building of the Beis HaMikdash, when the door and lintels which served in Mitzrayim as witnesses will be revealed in the Beis HaMikdash. Likewise, the sunken gates of the Beis HaMikdash, they were sunk at the time of the destruction, as it says in Eicha, will again be revealed and will complete the building of the Beis HaMikdash. May we all be successful in working during the week and balancing ourselves properly to work well and to be at the same time connected to our values. And the most important Jewish value is that we are enslaved and we are committed to Hashem fully. Kol Tov, have a great week and a good Shabbos.